Hello chess lovers, I have a very fascinating game for you played by Pyotr Dubinin against Nikola Petrov. The game was played in 1936 in Rostov. Dubinin had white pieces and he started with e4. e6 by Petrov, French defense, d4, d5, knight c3 and d takes e4. Black is going for Rubinstein variation named after Akiba Rubinstein. Knight takes e4, knight d7, knight f3, knight f6, knight g3, c5, a standard move in French defense, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, bishop d3. This bishop is starting to eyeball at black's king side. Queen b6, now the pawn on f2 is under attack and we see castling by both sides. Queen e2, freeing d1 square for the rook, and at some point this queen can come on e4 square. Rook e8, c3, overprotecting the pawn on b2 square, and already this bishop can be developed. Knight f8, the knight was very passive on d7 square, black is bringing it on g6 square. Knight e5, knight g6, bishop takes g6, h takes g6, h4. Already there is a weakness in black's camp and now white is going to use that fact. Queen c7, and there it goes, h5. Now this is a critical position and it was in here that black made a mistake and captured on h5. According to the engine, the best move was bishop d6 attacking the knight. If f4, then b6, and after h takes g6, black should recapture, give up the pawn on g6 and play bishop c5 check, king h2, bishop b7. Of course, this is a very hard choice to give up a pawn so easily, but according to the engine, this position is equal. But instead, after h5, we see g takes h5 by black. A very normal human move, I think. Knight takes h5, knight h7, but now this is becoming more and more dangerous. If you wish, you can pause the video and try to find white's next move. Ready? Well, probably you have already guessed from the title that you have to sacrifice a piece on g7. There it goes, we see knight takes g7. White just wants to rip open black's king side and checkmate this poor king. King takes g7, queen h5 with a deadly threat bishop h6 check. For example, right now if b6, just a random move, then bishop h6 check. If king g8, then queen g4 check followed by a checkmate. And if king h8, then knight takes f7 is winning. Black should give up the queen, otherwise there is again a checkmating threat. Let's go back, but after queen h5 we see bishop f8. At some point this bishop will cover the g7 square. Rook e1. More forces are joining the attack. King g8, rook e3, rook e7, rook g3 check, bishop g7. And now question arises, how is white going to proceed with the attack? But in this position we are going to witness the second sacrifice again on g7 square. Rook takes g7, king takes g7, and once that dark square bishop is removed, which was protecting black king, things are getting easier. We see bishop h6 check, king h8, of course not king g8, because after queen g4 check, black king will get checkmating. That's why the king is hiding behind black knight. Rook d1. This time the second rook is coming, and at some point this rook can even use the weakness of the 8th rank. Knight f6, attacking the queen on h5, and here we go, we are going to see the third sacrifice again on g7, bishop g7 check. Look at this, just have a look, this g7 square is just burning. King takes g7, 3-piece sacrifice on g7, this is just amazing. Queen g5 check, king h8. Well, if king f8, then simply queen takes f8, threatening mate in 1. If rook d7, then knight g6 check followed by queen h8 checkmate. Let's go back. After king takes g7, we see queen g5 check, king h8, queen takes f6 check, king g8, rook d3, and finally black resigned. Again, this mating threat is coming, and if a move like queen takes e5, of course a desperate move, then instead of recapturing, simply rook d8 check, and then black king is getting checkmated. I think that this is a very unique game. 3-piece sacrifice on this burning G7 square. This is amazing. If you enjoyed this beautiful attack, don't forget to give the thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. More games are coming. Good luck.